Hello guys, so in today's video we are going to take our trade on XRP USDT. I got a question from one of the VIP members that is it only Solana that we can apply this strategy on. So in regards to that question, I decided to trade on XRP because I also trade on XRP too, although not often. I mostly trade on Solana because that's my coin of focus. Right now, the essence of trading with only one coin is that it gives you the ability to get to experience the level of aggression or calmness the coin has. You know how the coin flips, you know how the coin runs, you know the whole characteristic of the coin. You get to know it, so you know how to place your risk reward ratio. Right now, on XRP we are currently on an uptrend. Okay, we are currently on an uptrend. Let me draw the trend line so you can see. So as you can see, we have two touch points. Okay, this is the first touch point and this is the second touch point. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to force the trend line to actually meet all the touch points. There are instances whereby bulls, on an uptrend, bulls tend to push price even before it touches the support level. Okay, so since we're on an uptrend, all we are going to be looking for are buys. Even if we see a sell setup, we don't have concern over it. Okay, it's none of our business. All we are looking for are buys. Now, since we have this what is it called, this uptrend, the next thing you have to do is to apply trend analysis. Okay, is to apply trend analysis to determine the highs, the lows, the higher highs, higher lows, etc, etc. So normally what I like to do is I like to take my trend line. Okay, I like to take my trend line and mark out these levels, and then if it's an uptrend, I normally like to paint it green, just the way I painted my trend line. This is not compulsory. I just like clarity in whatever I am doing. Okay, whenever I see green, I know it's an uptrend. Whenever I see a red line, I know it's a downtrend. Sometimes no matter how good you are on something, if you don't actually make it to be visibly clear, you might have this thing called decision fatigue, which will actually tend to mess with your process, what's it called, with the way you process things. Okay, so I'm currently marking out my higher highs and higher lows. Okay, this will make me, or this will allow me to spot when a change of character wants to actually occur. So when a change of character wants to occur, what I'm going to see is a higher high and a lower low instead of a higher high and a higher low. Okay, I hope the concept is clear. Sometimes I do see a lower high and a higher low. It's also a valid change of character, but in most cases I like it whenever the lower low comes with a lower high. That is, the lower high will tend to be the test of the price. So I think we are done for now. So over here we have a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. Now we are expecting a higher high over here. Okay, we are on an uptrend. We are expecting a higher high that is higher than this high over here. Okay, now this is pure trend analysis. On the advanced level of trend analysis, you have to confirm this break of structure, and a possible break of structure over here. Let me show you. This is your first break of structure, second break of structure, validating the high, and when this price goes up above, this is going to be your third break of structure. Okay, now this is how you get to identify a continuation and a reversal using trend analysis. Okay, now since we've spot all this, all we are going to be looking for on the 15 minutes, don't forget this is the 4 hours. Okay, this is the 4 hours time frame. Now all we are going to be looking for on the 15 minutes time frame are buys. Okay, we're going to be looking for buy signal. Now this is how the 15 minute looks like. Let me show you. This is how the 15 minutes looks like. So currently we are on an uptrend on the 15 minutes, and this green line over here was the trend line we drew on the 4 hours time frame. Now you're going to see that the 15 minute has another steeper price movement. So normally when you see a steeper price movement, what you do is from the the recent touch point on the higher time frame. Okay, the last touch point on the higher time frame will be your first touch point on the lower time frame. Now, as you can see, this is, or shall I say, this was the last touch point. This was the last touch point on our higher time frame. So we're going to draw another steeper trend line over here, okay, to realign us with the 15 minutes time frame. Now let's do it. Great. Then all we have to do is to drag our trend line like this, and as usual, I like to paint it and thicken it. Now this is our recent this is our new steeper trend line on the 15 minutes. Now this trend line is only valid on 15 minutes. Okay, this trend line is only valid on 15 minutes. When you get back to the 4 hours and see this trend line, do not just ignore it. It's as if it's not there. Okay, it's not there. So when you get this, the next thing you have to do is to mark out, okay, on the 15 minutes also, mark out your low, your higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, now we are looking for another higher low somewhere around here. Okay, when the price touches, then we are going to enter from this level or from this point and then go up with the market. Okay, now let's draw the higher highs and higher lows. So this is the first low from the steeper trend line. Okay, great. And this is the new higher high right here. Now this might seem totally unnecessary, but believe me, this is what will guide you into not making mistakes. Okay, and then this is another higher low. So the swing lows are what the swing lows and the swing highs are the representation of higher highs and higher lows, right? And then another higher high right here. And a higher low over here. Okay, and we have a higher high again over here. Just like this. Okay, now what we are looking for is a higher low somewhere around here that will validate our upward movement. Now once we are done with our trend line drawing and trend analysis drawing, the next thing we have to do is the use of technical indicators. And in our case, what are the technical indicators that we normally use? Okay, we normally use the Bollinger Band to spot overbought and oversold conditions and to spot moment of volatility, and then we have the MACD to spot signal shift from the bullish to the bearish and to spot reversals and retest. Okay, that is the work of this, so that we can be able to have a clean and clear entry. Okay, now let's turn on the Bollinger Band. Okay, the Bollinger Band is turned on, and if you zoom out a bit, you're going to see that on the upward move we have a retest. Okay, on the upward move we have a retest right here. This is our retest. Okay, so this retest will drive to a certain level before it actually goes back up, because I don't think this is a reversal. Now how can you be able to avoid risk or avoid to manage your risk and avoid loss? All you have to do is, let me turn off the Bollinger Band so that you can see what is the previous high over here. What is the previous high over here? Now the previous high over here is this point. Sorry, the previous low. I'm sorry, the previous low. The previous low is at this point. Okay, this is the previous low. So in order for you to actually know that we are on a new downtrend, okay, to confirm a downtrend move, all you have to do is to take your trend line, get to this point. Okay, when you get to this point, you mark it out just like this. Now this is your guide to know if we have a change of character or not. Okay, so I like to paint the guard yellow. Okay, so if price tends to go down below this level like this, okay, goes down below this level like this, and then use this line as a support, validating the buys and sells over here, and then starts to go down, Now this is where your entry is going to be, okay, and then you take it to the downside. But before you enter the market, you have to make sure that the last histogram on the MACD is green, okay, and then a red formation has started to form. That is when you are going to enter into the market. Okay, now done with that, let's go back to our Bollinger Band. As you can see, the price has left the upper band. Okay, the price has left the upper band of the Bollinger Band and is now at the middle band of the Bollinger Band, which is the 20 period moving average. Okay, now all I have to do, because sometimes the price just, if the bulls are strong in the market, the price just rests over the middle band and then continues its journey to the upside. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to actually touch the lower band, especially if there's a key level resting somewhere near the lower band. For instance, this is a key level. Okay, this is a key level over here where buys and sells occurred. If you align it with this point over here, you're going to see that this is another key level. So there's high probability that price might just support this key level that is resting over here. Sorry, price might just support this key level resting over here and tend to go up. Now, since we have confirmed this, the next thing you have to do is to use your MACD. Okay, we know that we are now on a retest level, so you just have to use your MACD to follow the trend. And when the MACD begins to print green histograms, that is when you are going to enter into the market. That is where you buy low and then tend to sell high. Okay, so as you can see, let me zoom it out a little bit. As you can see, the MACD is currently printing huge red histograms. Okay, the MACD is currently printing huge red histograms just like this. Okay, so we have to wait for this MACD to be done with the red histograms and then the fainty red histograms. The moment the MACD begins to print green histograms, that is when we are going to be considering to actually enter the market. Okay, so for now, the only thing we have to do is wait for this histogram slope, this green histogram slope to start occurring, and then wait for the signal line to cross above the MACD line. Only then can we consider to enter the market and long the position, since on our overall trend on the XRP USDT is long. Okay, so as we can see, the price has crossed the middle band. Okay, it has crossed the moving average band, and the price is heading towards the MACD lower band, and at the same time the lower band of the MACD has aligned itself with our trend line. Okay, so there's high probability that the price will just happen to touch this trend line over here and then reverse to the upside. And even if it doesn't touch the trend line, we are still on an uptrend. Even if the price breaks below the trend line, it might just be a fake out. We are still on an uptrend. We are going to be on a downtrend only if the price of this asset falls below this yellow line that we drew earlier. Okay, that is where we are going to be considering a change of character, a retest, and then a move to the downside. Okay, now like I told you, all we have to do is wait for the market to do what it does best. So our MACD is still showing a bright red color. Okay, it's still showing a bright red histogram color. Okay, this is the signal shift from the bullish, okay, from the bullish zone to the bearish zone. So all I'm looking for now is for the MACD to start printing this fainty red candles, fainty red histograms. Okay, that will allow me to know that the strength of the buyers is beginning to lessen, and then the strength of the sellers is beginning to lessen, and then the strength of the buyers is beginning to increase. Only then can I start looking at my signal line and the MACD line to get a crossover and then enter when the price is at the lower band, so that it can drive me back up and then I can make profit by longing the position of this XRP USDT. So guys, it's been a while now, and as you can see, there was a very strong move to the downside, right? The bears were in control for a little while, and they even broke the trend line. Okay, they broke the trend line, which means they dragged price down, and price broke the trend line. But like I told you earlier, the breakage of a trend line does not mean that we are now on a downtrend. Okay, it doesn't mean that we are on a downtrend. We can only be on a downtrend if the price goes below the previous higher low. Okay, we can only be on a downtrend if price goes below the previous higher low. So this was our previous higher low. That is why we marked this region over here. So had it been price closed below this place, okay, and made this place a resistance, then we can now, it's safe for us to say we are on a downtrend on the 15 minutes. Of course, by validating our move on the 4 hours, we have to make sure that the 4 hours aligns with the 15 minutes before we decide to actually trade downwards or not. Okay, so as you can see over here, the price came all the way down and then dropped on the support line. Okay, dropped on this line, making it a support region, and we just spotted a pin bar candlestick right here. Okay, we just spotted a pin bar. Should I say, oh, it's a hammer, right? I think it's a hammer. Yeah, it's a hammer candlestick right here, and I'm waiting for a confirmation candle, which is this one. Okay, when this confirmation candle closes in about 3 minutes, then I can decide to place my entry right at the close of the confirmation candle to drag it back up. And as you can see, there is a weak bullish histogram slope that is beginning to form, and then the MACD line, the signal line, is beginning to curve to the upside of the charts. Okay, and then it's tending to close it's tending to come together with the MACD line and then make the crossover. All right, now all we have to do is to turn on our Bollinger Band. Okay, turn it on to confirm if the price is at the lower band. And as we all know, if price hits the lower band just the way it did like this, price will naturally go up. This doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time when price hits this lower band, price goes up to actually balance the overbought or oversold condition of the market. Okay, so now that our confirmation candle has closed right here, it's time for us to enter the market. It's time for us to enter a long position. So our stop loss, before you enter a trade, you have to calculate where your stop loss is going to be, and then where your take profit is going to be. Our stop loss is going to be just below this line over here at 3.2262, while our take profit is going to be somewhere around this place, just close to the middle band of the Bollinger Band. That's going to be our next point of interest. Okay, so stop loss 3.22, take profit is going to be 3.30, right? So you just go over here. Let me use all the money and with the leverage of 4x. So stop loss is going to be 3.22, and then take profit is going to be 3.3. Now this is what I want you guys to actually put into consideration. Your stop loss must always be lower than your take profit. As you can see over here, we have 6%, minus 6% on the stop loss, and then 3% on the take profit. This is irrational. This is an what is it called, an improper fraction of calculating stop loss and take profit. Okay, so all we have to do now is to actually go back and see the next support level, okay, where we can be able to actually place our stop loss, okay, our take profit. So our previous point of interest was this place. I think we have to place it over here, since the overall trend direction on power is going bullish, right? So it's going to be 3.35. so let's head over 3.35. Great, now we have 9%, and then over here we have 6%. Now this is ideal for me. Okay, this is great for me. All I have to do now is to place this long position and wait for the market to do what it